This is mainly supposed to be an Ana discussion, but I go off topic and make it more of a balanced discussion in the second half of the video where I talk about the terrible, terrible state of Hammond and some other things. But let's get into it. Bro, Ana is dominating Overwatch 2 right now, and it's not even close. She was already pretty strong, but I can't believe how much that buff did. Now you're gonna have to excuse my Ana gameplay in the background. I haven't played her in a hot minute, and I'm in a in a hardcore deathmatch lobby with a top 500, so take it easy on me. But with that being said, she is dominating. She is absolutely insane across all ranks in competitive as of this month or December, the last 30 days. On the PC platform, she has a 10.16% pick rate. That is insanely high. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. On console, things change quite a lot for the controller. You know, it becomes like Reinhardt and Mercy in the top. But you know, let's switch to PC. PC competitive is really what we need to use the statistics goes when it comes to analyzing the data. Okay, 10%. For context, Kiriko is at 8%. Very, very, very high. But then Mercy is at 6%, and everything below Mercy drops into the 5s. Meaning, literally, Ana has a 40% higher pick rate than the third highest pick rate hero in the entire game. This isn't by support, by the way. This is all heroes in the entire game, across all roles. That is absolutely mind-boggling. Now, the only reason I feel I'm starting to hear complaints, but the main reason you don't hear a ton of complaints is because of the dominance of Roadhog and the fact that Blizzard couldn't nerf him in time. They wanted to kind of rework him a little. They didn't have time before the vacation, and we should expect it sometime this month instead. So they instead buffed Ana, which is a direct counter, and it just goes to show that the trickling effect of balance is insane. Literally, thanks to Ana, if you were to counter pick against a Roadhog and have a decent team that will work with you, you can shut him down quite aggressively. Like, it worked. Roadhog is broken. Roadhog is very strong. The one shot is a poor mechanic. Outside of his raw healing and statistics, the raw shot is the one shot is annoying to play against. But even on a separate conversation, it goes to show how strong and prominent countering is in Overwatch 2, regardless of most of the content creators being led to believe by Blizzard that counters are being eliminated in Overwatch 2. I think that point gets proven over and over again, from the 30% carryover of the ult all the way till right now, the highest pick rate being the counter of one of the most annoying heroes in the game. But with that being said, Roadhog is not the leading cause of her high pick rate. I mean, Roadhog's pick rate in context is 3.43%. So even outside of that, there's a 7% differential just of people just playing Ana. It doesn't matter. Her pick rate is ridiculous because of the last buff. And while she's dominating the game quite heavily, there is something to be said, like, should they change up Ana? Should they tweak her? And you know, right now, no. And I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice on predicting that she will not be nerfed or tweaked in the next balance patch. But that's an assumption / prediction, not a confirmation. And the reason is just because most likely they're going to want to tweak Roadhog and then see how the game develops. They're going to tweak a couple things, then see how the game develops, most likely not adjusting Ana. However, what's funny is when Roadhog gets nerfed, he's going to get doubly nerfed because Ana's already a direct counter and she's one of the strongest. And it's just crazy to see. It's just wild to see that trickling effect that Blizzard, you know, they used pretty well in this patch, but they're pretty oblivious to it in general, right? The most infamous one is Genji. You know, Genji is quite suffering in this meta after his nerf, and then the passive change, they didn't account for it or adjust it. So Blizzard is very, 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 very far from perfect or completely analyzing the trickle effect that continues to happen in the game. And even though this was mainly supposed to be about Ana, it really doesn't it doesn't really end there, because there is also something to be said about Kiriko, which they had to adjust a couple times, and still she's quite dominant. However, supports are sometimes only as dominant as the rest of the meta, because a lot of the supports, you know, because of the nature of their class, will be picked because of the strong DPS or tanks. So Kiriko right now is very, very strong and pairs well with Ramattra, hence my very angry Ramattra video that just came out a little bit ago. And that's mainly the main reason for, right? Kiriko is also still really good with Roadhog. You pop that ult, Roadhog is strong, get in there, boom, 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 boom. You guys get the idea. Then there's Mercy. Mercy doesn't really need too much changes. Mercy's prominence or dominance will most likely be adjusted by the strengths of others, meaning, if Genji all of a sudden becomes way too powerful, Mercy's not going to have the greatest time. Same thing with hit scan, etc, etc. And with that being said, I do want to make something extremely clear. Statistics like pick rate, win rate, they're not one-to-one on how the hero is doing. They just make for a very fun and engaging discussion, because Sojourn, for example, is at a 4.53% pick rate, right? Extremely strong still, even after all her nerfs. She's pairing really well with, Kiriko, which is second most picked support and hero in the game. Then, of course, there's also the fact that change indirectly kind of buffed her when it came to the DPS passive, and that also goes true with Soldier, which is why the second most picked DPS. But then there's Genji. He's the third most picked DPS, and he's by far not the strongest hero. And the reason I speak like this is just to make sure you guys understand that not only pick rate, but win rate as well, just they don't tell the story. They don't tell the whole story. That much is just a fact. And even on the topic of balance, there's always a topic to be had. For example, Hammond, very, very weak, has been pretty weak since the end of Overwatch 1, and basically completely unplayable right now. He's really, 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 really not strong, like at all. And if you were to do tank and sort it by pick rate, he's literally at the bottom of that chart with Junker Queen, right? They're underwhelming. So that's why the story always has two parts, but it's really, really good to put them together, right? The minute I said Wrecking Ball or Hammond, you guys know, you're like, oh, that tank is kind of useless. And the pick rate still does reflect it. And his win rate is actually an abomination. Like, it's 46%. It's actually pretty bad. Most heroes need to strive for as close to 50 as possible, and a lot of others like Diva at 48 or Sigma right at 50 alongside Reinhardt right at 50 do a little bit better than a Wrecking Ball. And I've complained about Reinhardt being already really weak, so you can see where Hammond has a right to be buffed. But in the end, all we can do is now sit and wait for Blizzard to make the January patch, and it should be quite the juicy one, with Junker Queen and Roadhog getting shaken up like crazy. And when these two get shaken up, it's gonna make a difference, especially Junker Queen. You know what I mean? She's already with her ult pretty good at getting straight into the back line, but she needs those spicy little buffs to bring her up to prominence, and I cannot wait to see how that goes. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video with a little bit of a wish list. I would love to see some changes to Hanzo, Hammond, Symmetra, Brigitte. They're widely considered some of the worst heroes in Overwatch right now. My boy Hanzo, I'd love to just see him rise to the top a little bit, in my opinion. Of course, Junker Queen, but we've already confirmed that that's going to come along, so I'm happy with that one. Also, a little bit of a Bastion tune-up is very much needed. Those are a few things I would really like to see, even if I don't main the heroes directly. The ever-shifting meta is very important to the longevity and I guess just the fun of Overwatch. But in the end, let me know what hero you want buffed or nerfed down below, and thanks for listening to a little bit more of a balanced discussion video.